All right, it's all you, lady.
It's all me. I hope the rest of you are dancing like me. Kayla picked awesome music for tonight. I needed it upbeat. I've had my granddaughter all week because her mom was in Washington, and I'm a little worn out. I'm not used to being full time, so thanks for the upbeat music. So welcome everyone to our Let's Talk call, where we're going to talk all things sponsorship. I'm Heidi Varner. I am the current lead for our Unified Event Support leadership team. And I have the honor of being able to host these calls every month. And I learn, I think, something wonderful on every call we've had. And I have gone back and listened to them on our landing page of acsresources.org. So if you've missed some of the current ones we've had, or if you want to go back and revisit one, they're all recorded and they're all posted on our Let's Talk landing page of acsresources.org. And this one will be there next week. Make sure everybody stays muted unless you're the one talking, so we can everybody can hear, but you can also ask questions of our expert. So put those through the chat, or at the end of each speaker, we will go and see if there's any questions. And share your ideas or aha moments in the chat. And the chat will be shared as part of the resource. So don't think you have to be screenshotting everything like I always thought I had to do. So let's get going. I want to thank everybody who came for sponsorship workshop. We're going to do a deep dive tonight with the intent of helping you take ownership of your sponsorship packets, your campaign, your asks, and even the stewardship and recognition, which for a lot of us is new. We've usually just been said, this is what you're going to use and this is how you're going to do it. So this is exciting that we get to do what works for our communities. So I'm excited. And we have wonderful volunteers from across our country who are going to share their how-tos and success stories from Relay and other fundraising events. So our first guest tonight is Chris Doe, who I have actually met in person, and I'm so excited to see her. You can smile, Chris. Excited to see her on here tonight. She's from the North Region Training and Development Lead, and she has many, many, many years as a relayer in Illinois. And she's going to give us a bit of sponsorship overview and then talk about some of the things that need to be taken into consideration when you plan your campaign. Welcome, Chris.
Thanks, Heidi. And just a little bit more about me. I'm going into my 23rd relay season this year as a volunteer. As Heidi said, I'm in Illinois, like right in the central part of northern Illinois, about 65 miles west of Chicago, an hour south of the Wisconsin border, 2 hours from the Mississippi River. So I've had a lot of opportunity to get involved with different relays and talk and meet with new people. So I'm happy to be on here tonight to talk a little bit about sponsorship with you all. So we know that dollars raised at Relay have a big impact on our mission, and sponsorship asks can have a big impact on our fundraising efforts. Sponsorship can cover a wide range, though. So here's some ways to think about what kind of ask you're making for a potential sponsor. So some asks are a relationship-centered ask. Relationship asks are made based on a pre-existing relationship. These are the asks we make to our friends, our families, our business relationships tied to the person making the ask and not necessarily tied to the mission or the event. We all have these kinds of relationships. The people we reach out to because we know they're going to tell us yes, because it's us that's asking. So in theory, these are the easier asks that don't take a lot of time. The other kind of ask is based on a tie to the ACS's mission. Mission-based asks are the asks made to the community partners where there is not a personal relationship. It can be to local businesses that have a passion in supporting our events due to personal experience, or it could be other partners whose own mission aligns with that of ACS. These asks can take more time and work, but are totally worth the effort in the end. We must be mindful, that some of our mission-based asks may be managed by someone other than your ACS partner. So this is especially true for many of our health systems and cancer centers from across the country. If you are wanting to reach out to them, please contact with your ACS partner to ensure that they're researching if there is a current relationship manager that can include your event if there are asks being made on a larger scale. Both of these asks are equally important when it comes to sponsorship for an event and can have a significant impact. So as you drill down into specific types of sponsorship, you can start planning on what kind of asks you want or you need to make. You can see them on the slide that's shown here, but we wanted to do just a quick overview of each of them. As always, there's the monetary sponsorship that we always love to get. It's the cash, the check, the credit card donations made directly to your event to support your fundraising efforts. In exchange, we often recognize those companies with the benefits that are listed in the sponsorship packet. Next, we have in-kind sponsorship. These are items, goods, services that a company donates to your event to help in another way. Each event usually has a long list of things needed for event day that you're trying to get donated: bottled water, food for your survivor dinner, tables, chairs, all those types of things. Companies that can donate these kinds of items are lifesavers because they help us ensure that as much of the donations as possible go to support our mission. While we do consider those in-kind donations to be a contribution to the event, it's not technically money being added to your fundraising total. However, we're still grateful to those companies and we want to make sure they're being recognized for their support. The ACS National Best Practice for recognizing in-kind sponsorship is to give the company the benefits for 50% of the fair market value of their donation. So as an example, a local restaurant has offered to donate the survivor dinner. The catering costs, if we were paying for the meal, would total $5,000. In this case, we offer the restaurant the sponsorship benefit for the $2,500 monetary sponsorship level. Well, this is the best practice. It's not written in stone. We want everyone to do what's best for their individual community. So this is a good time to have a conversation with your staff partner and your ELT to come up with a plan. We recognize that for some companies, this isn't the best policy. So just have a conversation and a plan in the back of your mind. And if you have questions, make sure to reach out and talk to your staff partner. Our next type of sponsorship is underwriting. Underwriting is when a company directly pays for a vendor for goods or services they're providing. So their donation doesn't come directly to ACS. Instead, it covers the cost of something you need for the event. You don't have a lot of underwriting in Relay, but occasionally we do. We're not going to turn down an offer of someone helping us. However, if you have an underwriting sponsorship come up, please be sure to work closely with your staff partner so we can ensure that the company is being properly recognized and receipted for their taxes. And also, if you're not sure if it falls under that underwriting, just reach out to your staff partner and they'll help you through that. Lastly, we have media sponsorships. These can range from print space in the local paper, radio public service announcements, TV ads, and to social media. For some areas, mainly bigger markets and metros, these kinds of asks can be made by ACS marketing staff. In smaller areas, though, it's up to the volunteer. However, media sponsorships are a great way to build a relationship with the media in your community. Their help in spreading the word about Relay can have an impact way beyond the donation. And I just want to do a little personal note here. In my community, when we had an event, being able to record those public service announcements and having that voice come from the volunteer rather than the radio station was priceless for us. So it really did help us get that word out. So those are the basic types of sponsorship: monetary, in-kind, underwriting, and media. And as always, if you have questions or concerns about something, just reach out and talk to your staff partner. So our next slide is where not to go. As you make your list of companies and businesses you want to approach, there are a few places that we absolutely cannot ask to support Relay. I know that the UES staff tries very hard not to tell you not to do things you want to do, but there are just some businesses that promote products that are the opposite of our mission, and we need to avoid them. So this is the short list of what we like to call the no-go places. Hopefully the first two on this list are self-explanatory. No tobacco companies or businesses, and no tanning salons. We know research has shown that tobacco and tanning is directly linked to increased cancer risk. So this means no monetary donations and no in-kind donations of products or services from either of these kinds of companies. Even if they offer, we need to kindly thank them, but let them know we cannot accept support from their business. Cannabis businesses and dispensaries are also on the no-go list. As an organization, ACS adheres to the federal law stating that any products containing even the smallest amount of THC is considered marijuana and therefore an illegal substance. Because of that, ACS and ACS Can do not accept proceeds from the sale of marijuana products. Nor do we allow marijuana product retailers or manufacturers to support events or provide samples or coupons at events. However, if you do have a dispensary approach you about supporting Relay in any way, including forming a team, please let your staff partner know immediately. They can help you talk to that person and share the guidelines we have to follow. Our last place, as much of a no-go place, is not as much of a no-go place, but more of a proceed with caution and talk with your staff partner before doing any paperwork situation. We know that some companies you approach will have you fill out official request paperwork and may even call their budget for giving a grant program, but those can be a little misleading. What you need to be cautious of are actual grants that have a lot of stipulations, excuse me, on how the donation can be spent, strict reporting requirements, or other restrictions on the funding being offered. So for anything called a grant, just be sure to check with your staff partner, and they can help determine if it's a grant that's a go or a no-go. So I know I just threw a lot of information at you, so I'll just reiterate the last line on our slide. If you are unsure or need clarification about anything, don't hesitate to reach out to your staff partner. So I saw a couple of things popping up in the chat as I was explaining this to you. So Heidi, I'm going to take it back to you, but if there's anything I need to answer, just let me know.
Well, someone has asked about CBD products for fundraisers. That I have no idea about. So I would say they probably need to talk to their staff partner.
I'm gonna have to find out about that one. I think it's still considered a marijuana product, but CBD specifically was not listed in our, long legalese thing. So we'll find out about that one for you, Mary. And then liquor stores are not a no-go place. They are a caution place. Like, we know it's always nice to have a wine basket at Relay for the silent auction. Those usually go pretty well. Those are still talk to your staff partner, make sure that you're following any local ordinances and laws and stuff. And of course, if you have any kind of tobacco in like an auction or something, or not tobacco, holy cow, liquor. I swear I'm not drinking, girls, ladies and gentlemen, I swear. If you have any kind of liquor in a basket or something like that for Relay, you just need to make sure that whoever has won that basket is over the age of 21.
Kayla, can I insert something also?
Yes,
so,
please.
Sometimes where you're holding the event prohibits alcohol. So you also want
yes,
to
that's
keep
true.
an eye on that too.
So yeah, for alcohol, I would just say check with your staff again.
For alcohol, I would just say check with your staff again.
Yes. I do know we have gotten like gift certificates for places that sell things other than alcohol, but sell alcohol, or like Jay's Sporting Goods, which is our huge statewide sporting goods store, will do gift certificates, but they also sell guns. So we don't ever have guns, but if somebody wins that gift certificate and chooses to do that, I mean, there's nothing we can say about that, but it isn't listed. It's just a gift certificate for the store. But again, check with your staff partners. That's the big thing on everything. That's why we all have a staff partner. So if you have the least little bit of question, go first to your staff partner, because a lot of us don't have the answers, and we could give you all kinds of crazy answers on our Facebook groups. So every state is different. So thank you, Chris. That was good. That was good. And we're going to stick to grants for a few more minutes because we know a lot of people go to Walmart, Sam's Club, Walmart neighborhood markets, and distribution centers. And we loop those all together as Walmart grants, and they're awarded through a local application process, and they provide funding directly from a store to a local organization like your Relay community. And they can range from $250 to $5,000. So it doesn't hurt to ask. And most events have a good time working with their local Walmart and Sam's Club last season. So we're going to welcome Susie Powell Rutherford from the Relay for Life of Santa Ana, California, to share with us her experience about approaching her local Walmart. Are you on, Susie?
Actually, I think Susie got called away to work, so we're going to welcome Karen, her staff partner also from California, to share for Susie instead.
Well, thank you. Welcome, Karen.
Hi, sorry Susie wasn't able to come and join us on the call because she's really amazing at doing the outreach and creating the relationships with those stores. I provided her with the information on Walmart grants, gave her a little letter to bring in with her to go see the manager, and off she went. And she went in and she talked to him and she got his phone number and she found out what the store was interested in. And this store, typically with the Walmart grants, they don't want any kind of publicity or any kind of sponsorship benefits. This guy wanted to be the big purple chair sponsor. So Susie made that happen. Once you get the commitment from your store manager, ACS is the one who has to fill out the application within the Walmart system. So going in is important. Talking to the manager is important. Getting that manager's first and last name is important. But also, Susie got his cell number so that they could text back and forth all the time. So she really did create that relationship with him. And I filled out the form. You know, we got him to, she said, listen, you can give up to 5,000. How does 2,500 sound? And he said, okay, go for 2,500. And she could text him. We put the grant in. We got the request ID number for you. You know, so she was constantly in contact with him and could let him know where it was in the process. Because the way the Walmart works is we fill it out in the system, and then there's just a long list of numbers, and the manager doesn't know which number goes with which request. So if you don't have that little request number to be able to help them get right in there and quickly approve, they have to go through every single one, which is a lot of work for them. So by the staff partner being able to supply the volunteer with that code number, she texted him and said, hey, can you do this today? Couple hours later, have you had a chance to approve our thing? Did you find it in your system? You know, in a very friendly way where he was not offended because they were friends, because they'd been texting. So that relationship really paid off, and we got the $2,500 grant. At the event, she had a sign that said Walmart in front of the purple chair. She had pictures that she took, and she texted him the pictures of people playing on the chair. So he really felt involved with the whole process. After the event, she posted some of the pictures on Facebook, and then she would tag the city of Arcadia. She'd tag Walmart. She'd tag all different kinds of important people so that all the important people in the community saw Walmart as a really good community partner for the American Cancer Society. So the manager was happy. We were thrilled. And she's going out next week, and she's going to do the picture with the big check. And then we're going to get that picture, and then we'll take that picture and do a press release, and we'll send it out to all the local newspapers and media outlets to try and get them a little more publicity, a little more thanks, a little more visibility. So that's basically what Susie did. You can see on the paper, on the screen, that there's only 25 per state. So it's really important that you do have that relationship. We don't want to go in and fill out that relationship, fill out the request, and the manager doesn't know you, doesn't know to go in and do it. It's not going to get approved, and you've taken away that slot from someone who really did put in the time. So put in those extra few minutes to create that relationship. Again, first name, last name. If you can get the cell phone number to create that relationship, strengthen it further, do it. Yes, that's Susie's story.
Thank you. Sounds like she would be really good to talk with when she has time when she's not at work. And thank you for
Yeah.
jumping in to fill it out. And then I have some more notes that Elise on staff has been helping keep our ACS side of things organized for Walmart grants this year. And she wants a couple notes shared and some reminders for all of us. So number one, the Walmart community grants for Walmart Region 22. And I know that's at the bottom, which is South New Jersey, a large part of Pennsylvania, Delaware, and a lot of Maryland, has a special corporate relationship at the regional level between ACS and those Walmarts. And they have a different process of community grant asks. So if you are in that area, you have your staff partner ask Elise if your store number is a part of Region 22, so we can work with those stores the way that they've asked us to do, so we can honor how they want to do their grants. Number two, the biggest piece to success is building the relationship with someone in your local store, either the store manager, the front end manager, or the people manager, their version of HR. We will need their name and approval to secure the grant, which is why that relationship is so important for you to build. Number three, we are finding that Walmart distribution centers have been slightly easier to get in touch with by phone to their human resources department, and many of them are looking for volunteer hour opportunities. So that is another way to form a relationship and help make the grant ask. And number four, there is no blackout period for Sam's Club this fall, like there was last year. So you can build the relationship with Sam's Club managers too and make the ask for them as well. And following our call, we'll have a couple resources that we're going to share with everyone on approaching your store and everything that needs to be done. So be sure to talk to your staff partner and track what stores you're reaching out to. And now I'm going to throw it over to our next speaker once we've gone through. There's lots of things, Kayla. Is there anything we need to cover?
Hey,
Looks like
it looks like Sherry Carroll is a manager at Walmart, and she said she's open to helping me answer questions if you have any. So, Sherry, we're going to hit you up.
Thank you for the offer.
awesome. Good. I am sure people are going to be asking questions. Next, we're going to throw it over to Jen Brown from the Relay for Life of East Valley, Arizona, and she's going to share how she remade her sponsorship packet for this year. Welcome, Jen.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Hi, my name is Jen. I was asked to talk about how we came up with our sponsorship packet this year, just because it's quite in the past. Previously, we used what I call the standard packet from ACS. At least it's the only version that I've seen for several years, which was about 6 pages long. So we wanted to really take a hard look at our packet because we had received some, not really concerns, but comments from the community that we were approaching, as well as some of our participants and ELT members, that the packet was just too voluminous and not appealing. And by the time people got through the first couple pages, they didn't want to look at it any longer. And so we didn't know what opportunities we might be missing out on. So we decided to take a look at it, and we did it as a complete ELT. And we started by just kind of looking at our past packets and what levels we had, as well as where we were getting those sponsorships secured, at what levels we're getting secured sponsorships for. And so we started with that and eliminated, I think, 2 levels this year. We didn't have to add any because we already had a $100 sponsorship level last year. We did just rename them to make them, some of them just to kind of be a little more catchy than just the standard titles. So we first looked at those, and then we decided, like I said, what levels we wanted to keep. Then we took a look at the benefits that we had been providing in the past. And again, they were pretty wordy. And so some of them were confusing we weren't, to really be able to explain what that actual benefit was. So as you can see on the screen, we kind of tried to make them just 1 line, 2 line max for each different benefit that was being provided. Again, so that they could just see it all on one page and not have to go back and forth. The other concern, and I say concern, but not necessarily concern, but it was brought to our attention that in the past, some of our benefits that we had didn't, for the lower levels, didn't necessarily carry forward to the upper sponsorship levels. And then some of the benefits kind of looked like maybe they were less value for a higher sponsorship level. So we just really took a look at that to make sure we were consistent, and then decided what we wanted to keep. So our big thing was, as I said, keeping the volume of the packet down. So I had heard from prior calls just like this, different ideas, and I kind of took some of those ideas back to my committee, and I had heard about a 1-page sponsorship. So I reached out to my staff partner to ask if we could look for a template. So we found it, and we modified it to match our what our needs were and what we wanted to provide to the community. In order to keep it, 1 page, we were not repetitive with listing all of the benefits. So if you'll look at it, you'll see everything below at the bottom of each benefit list. So that allowed us to keep this down to 1 page. So that was kind of how we came up with the 1-page part of it. And then as far as when we were looking at what we were providing as for the benefits, we really wanted to look at what we could provide to our businesses that was a valuable benefit to them, but little to no cost to us, because we don't want to use those donor dollars to provide something in return to this business. So most of ours, except for putting their name on a banner, really I don't believe any of ours cost us any money. So it's just, the social media shout outs, putting it on our website, the banners at the event, the track sides at the event, Mission Monday posts, and just, getting their name out in anything that we advertise in, or promote our event in. So that was what we looked at as far as the benefits. The other thing I'll point out is part of why our packet before was so big is we had a lot of mission information into it. So we didn't want to lose that mission content. So what we did is under each title of the sponsorship level, we indicated what those donor dollars could provide as a service. And then just to keep it clear, at the bottom, we put, I don't think we can see it on the screen, but on the bottom, oh yeah, we do actually. It's at the very bottom right above the bold payments. It says your generous donation could provide this and other life-saving support, just so that it tells them it doesn't necessarily mean that your money is going towards that specific benefit or service, but that's something that amount could provide. And then you'll notice the other thing we added is that QR, just to make it easier for those businesses to make a credit card payment, and then you're not having to reach back out. They can just take care of that. Sometimes if they're willing to do it right on the spot, you've got your sponsorship secured. I think that covers it. The last thing I just kind of want to say is, I think Heidi said this, I'm not sure if you or Kayla at the very beginning, is just remembering that these sponsorship packets are unique. They're unique to you. We don't have to, and we just kind of discovered that amongst our own relay this year, because we've been using that standard packet, but it doesn't always work. And if it's not appealing to the community, it's not going to serve all the needs that provide all of the return in investment that you want it to. So just keep that in mind. Listen to these trainings, take bits and pieces and make it unique. That's what we did. A lot of these ideas that are on here came from these calls. So I think that's it.
Thank you, John. You have gotten lots and lots of compliments on what you and your ELT put together and how you incorporated the mission. And this is amazing. So Relay, great job. I think this is awesome.
Thank you.
And I love that Joy has there that, you have your QR code. So we really shouldn't be collecting credit card information anymore on their sponsorship forms. Put out your QR code and then it goes directly where it needs to go.
Yeah.
Anything else up there that you guys need to answer? I kind of scrolled through, but it was going pretty good. All right. So National always has a standard packet, like we said, but it's not something that all of us want to use. So our staff is going to put together different types of sponsorship packets that will be shared following this call. So you can look for things or, take bits and pieces of them and make it your own. Jen's will also be in there. This template will be in there. And now for the biggest part of any sponsorship is the ask. And we have Jamie, I think it's Borgi Nogi from the Relay for Life of Bolivia County, Mississippi. She's going to share with us. But tonight she's going to be doing it as a recording because she's a busy lady, like all of us. So she couldn't be on. So she recorded it. They have a very small community, but they have a ton of sponsors. So I'm anxious to see how she does that.
Jamie, thank you for joining us today to tell us about your sponsorship success with your Relay for Life. Will you tell us just a little bit about you and why you relay?
Thank you, Jennifer, for asking me to do this. My name is Jamie Borganoni, and I am the event lead for Relay for Life of Bolivar County. I have been doing Relay for approximately 18 years, with the event lead role now for 6 years. Unfortunately, my why has grown through the years. It began with my sister-in-law's breast cancer and has now spread to my father having prostate cancer and numerous friends that I have made throughout these 18 years.
I think that is exactly why we all do this and why we have the passion for the mission of the American Cancer Society. Will you tell me a little bit about your community that you live in?
Okay, Bolivar County is a community of approximately 31,000 people, approximately 12,000 households, and 7,700 families. We are a very close-knit community, and our economy consists of mainly agriculture and education, and that education includes the Delta State University that's here in Cleveland.
So tell me about your Relay for Life event.
So our event this year was just a few weeks ago. We had 7 teams participating at our event and several other teams who were active in raising money for luminaries, etc., but they were not able to attend. I don't currently have an official total of what we raised, but I am going to estimate with bank night and the event itself, we were approximately $9,000 to $10,000 raised.
That is so amazing. So you average between 75,000 and 100,000 for your total year of fundraising at Relay. How much of that is your sponsorship dollars?
Well, this year we raised $34,000 in sponsorships.
Okay, that is wonderful. Have you always raised this much?
No, each year we build upon that total. I challenge my ELT every year and my team captains to increase this because sponsorships is one of the easiest ways to fundraise, to raise money.
Yes. So what is your secret ingredient to getting these sponsors?
Relationships. You have to have relationships within your community. I work at this all year round. I make myself known in the community. My husband and I attend local functions. I shop local throughout the year, and just a public presence on social media helps. We have a local Cleveland, Mississippi community page, and you just make yourself known. You have your relay group, Facebook, also be a part of that presence, because, you know, a lot of our advertisement these years are definitely on social media.
Yes, yes. So how do you know who to ask?
Of course, we start with the sponsors from the previous year. Most all of them are glad to support us again. At the beginning of the year, too, I reach out to the chamber, and I always get a list of businesses who are members of the chamber. And then I also expand that list as I note around make note around the community. I'm also always making notes of businesses who also sponsor other local events, such as JA, BPAC shows, and other functions within our community.
Absolutely. Now, do you rely on your ELT and team captains to make connections as well?
If they have a personal connection to that particular business, then I ask them to reach out to them.
Absolutely. So now you've given us a little bit of background. How do you ask these sponsors or these businesses to sponsor you?
We personally go into the business with a sponsorship package. We ask who is responsible for making the decisions to donate, and ask to see them personally. If they're busy, then I will leave the packet with my name and phone number on the top and ask for them to give me a call so we can talk about it. If I don't hear from them within a few days, then I follow up with another personal visit. I usually make 2 follow-ups before I stop pressing the business, but we have to understand that business owners are busy, and sometimes they just forget to reply.
Yeah.
And and it always helps they have a much more difficult time telling you no face to face than they do over the phone.
That is absolutely true. But what do you do if they do tell you no?
You know, if they tell me no, I don't take it personally. If they don't, I would much rather them respond, but it's not a personal reflection on me, because we don't really know what's going on within their business or their personal lives that might be preventing them from donating. And if they tell me they can't do a sponsorship this year, then, I maybe ask if they could do a smaller donation. If they are a retail business or could do something like a silent auction or donate to a raffle, then we ask for that. And, just because they say no this year, and I tell them, okay, I'll reach back out to you next year and see if there's something that, if you're able to do it then. So maybe no this year, but that doesn't mean no forever.
Perfect. Perfect. Well, Jamie, do you have any last pieces of advice that you can share with us on having sponsorship success?
I know I said it before, but the relationship building and understanding their business and what their needs may be. Our presenting sponsor this year, Cannon Motors, I was sitting in his office. We were going over the sponsorship again this year, and last year they did $15,000. And of course, you always want to reach out and ask for them to raise their sponsorship if they're able to. And so we were looking at the packets of what they could get. And he said, well, what would I need to do to have cars out there on the lot, on your premises? And so I reached out to my American Cancer Society rep, and, we custom built a package for them, and he made a $5,000 sponsorship so that they could, it could work for them too. So definitely, know what your businesses might want and understand what their needs might be. And then, of course, I have 3 simple life rules that I try to live by, and I usually relate these to my Relay for Life journey too. And that is, if you don't go after what you want, you'll never have it. If you don't ask, the answer will always be no. And if you do not step forward, you will always remain in the same place.
Jamie, those words are absolutely true. Thank you so much for sharing your wisdom and your time with us today. And best of luck for your relay next year.
Thank you.
That was awesome. A huge thank you to Jamie and her staff partner, Jennifer Clay. I'm blown away about how they secure so many sponsorships. I think that's great. I know in Michigan, we have always let individuals go get sponsorships. It was never just, there was never really a sponsorship chair. They kept track of all the sponsorships, but they didn't make all the asks. And we always had a running spreadsheet of which team asked for which sponsor, so we weren't doubling up in the community, and anybody who was a relayer could go out and secure sponsorship. So there's lots of ways to do this. Just do what works in your community. Are we ready? All right. Now we're going to hear from, not from Maureen, because she had something come up. So, but she makes asks for in-kind goods and services for her Making Strides Against Breast Cancer of Western Maryland event. It's close to their season, and so I know things are going crazy because I know our local Strides is in 2 weeks. So we are very thankful that her staff partner, Jess Morris, could join us and talk about how to get those in-kind goods and services for your events.
Thank you. So I have a little note here from Maureen about what she does. So she takes this this letter here, and she takes it into the local businesses, and she does a day that she'll go and she'll drive through town and just stop there at the local businesses and ask people, like, right on the spot, you know, can you help us for our day of event? So she'll go in and she'll ask for something. Maybe it's for water, or maybe it's bananas or apples or things like that. And that'll help for the day up for participants. And then she also, if they're doing a basket raffle or something like that, she'll ask them to donate something like that. And it is just an in-kind donation that, you know, that they are available, they're able to donate. So in some of the local events that she goes to are like the Weiss markets. They'll donate cookies and donuts for the day of. She also goes into the local Walmart. They do grants, but they also will donate $100 gift card, and we get a lot of our waters and things like that from them. The local McDonald's or Dunkin' Donuts locations, they'll do cups or napkins. We even had Chick-fil-A donate to our survivor breakfast in the morning. So they donated over 50 sandwiches that morning for our survivors. But she just goes in and she has that, you know, that personal touch where she talks to a manager. If she can't talk to a manager, she'll normally just leave the packet with them, with this letter and our nonprofit letter too. That's attached to the bottom if you need that. But don't forget, when you do fill this out, make sure that you put your contact information on there. She has on here, I'm sorry, I'm trying to read her stuff because she has everything listed that she needs to make sure is done properly. But after you fill out all the information and you have all your contact information on there, once we get the yes from them, we will post it on social media and say thank you to our sponsors, and then we'll also send them a little note too. You want to make sure that you have that personal touch too, that you send them that thank you card. But a lot of people do say yes right on the spot, so you don't even have to worry about waiting around for anybody to give you these kind of things, because they love to help, especially local businesses. They want to help right there in the community. But
Thank
that's
you,
all she
Josh. You
has.
answered my 2 questions. I wanted to know how you recognize them and how you thank them. So you already answered that. And good luck with your event in October.
Oh yes, we have a lot of people that are donating to the cause, so it's great because people love to come out. People like to get free stuff too, so it does help when they get to have have something to eat or drink for while they're walking. So
So true. So true. Well, good luck with your event.
thank you.
Yes. Now we've gotten through making the ask. We're going to follow up with following up after your ask and stewardship. And Judy Schill, I think Schill from the Relay for Life. I'm slaughtering names all over today. From the Relay for Life of Pueblo, Colorado, was going to share, but she also could not be on the call. So her wonderful staff partner, Sharon Hall, is going to offer up her knowledge while Judy is enjoying a fabulous vacation, which I wish I was on.
Oh, yeah. This guest is a night of us staff are presenting for our volunteers. Just give you a little highlight of Pueblo, Colorado. It's basically a town of about 108,000 people. This Relay for Life averages about between $50,000 to $68,000 a year in revenue. About 30% of their revenue comes from sponsorship. This year they had about 32 teams and a 200 plus, I guess, participants that were actually attended a relay. The relay was actually on September 9th. So Judy, she gave me a lot of notes, and I'll do my best to explain how she does this. She's actually the sponsorship chair. And, she creates this spreadsheet. She starts out at the beginning of the year looking at the spreadsheet is created from previous sponsors. She goes after the previous people as well as new sponsors. And basically, she makes a list, and then she puts in the amount as what she's targeting for the sponsorship. And she goes after that amount. So basically, something she said when she sent me her notes, she said the new learnings that she got from this year out of all the years is that, she had never done electronic funds transfers before. And so some of her sponsors did electronic funds transfers, which if anybody's ever done EFTs before, because on the sponsorship commitment form, it says, contact your staff if your sponsor has an EFT. So she got a chance to see how that works. And that was one of her key learnings. The other one was using the QR code. I don't know how many of the events are actually using that QR code because we cannot put credit card information on our commitment forms anymore. And the QR code, that sponsor can actually scan that QR code, and it goes straight into the sponsorship revenue category. And we're notified when the sponsorship money comes in, so we notify the volunteers that the money is in, and then just credit as our volunteers. We just let them know that we're going to credit the website with that sponsor. So let's talk about her spreadsheet. She said this is an invaluable tool for her. And her key advice to anyone that wants to put together, I'm holding on to my granddaughter. She's getting ready to jump off the chair. So, one of the things that she says is that her advice is early communication with your sponsor. Make sure that you reach out to them early. Follow up with messages and calls all the time. Get to know your sponsors. I mean, how many of you guys actually know your sponsors? I mean, outside of them giving you money, do you really know your sponsors? Provide them with the benefits that you say you're going to give them, especially those that you have in your packet. And she said, stay in communication with your sponsors by updating them with your event details. So you need to keep them in the loop of what's happening with your event. So not just go after the money, once you get the money, it's almost like a 365 day of the year. You want to keep in communication with those sponsors. So you want to definitely make sure that, you keep in contact with them, because if you want them to return, as you can see, there's quite a few presenting sponsors. We actually have 2 hospitals that gave $5,000. And so every year they come, but they compete with each other. Who's going to be the presenting sponsor for this event? So basically, so those are some of the things that she wanted to share with all of you guys, is that Stewarding means, more than just following up. Stewarding means building, as many have said in the previous presenters, a relationship. You want to have a continued relationship with your sponsors. So that's all I have for right now.
That's a lot, Sharon. So thank you. And let her know that we appreciate her words of wisdom.
Okay.
Once she gets back from her fabulous vacation. So now we have a few more speakers who are going to share some of their success stories from this year. So we have Donna Hood from the Relay for Life of Newton County in Missouri. Are you on, Donna?
Yes, I am. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So I'm up, huh?
You are up. Oh. Take it away.
Okay. Well, there I am. We were successful this year, I think, with corporate sponsorships. We were good, but I think we can be great next year. We were just I was pleased because we haven't had an event for 2 years, like some others, because of COVID. But one thing this year, we really tailored our template for what we sent out to the corporate sponsors. But I definitely love the one I just saw a little earlier. So ours still needs some more work. But we were able, the dollar amount, we kind of know what businesses and stuff can do here. And so we made it something that was obtainable for them. And we changed some of the levels, and we even gave some of them some names, like the Wildcat sponsor, where Neosho Wildcats is our mascot. But really tailoring that form, I think, was really big for us and was appealing to people. This great picture here, not because I'm in it, but this is where we had our survivors set up for the night of our event. It's just a local place that they rent out. We did get reduced rent on it. But a couple of weeks before the event, you can see that we decorated the front of the windows there to represent the relay that was coming up. Okay, you want to move me to the next slide. Like probably what a lot of you do, we mailed out 3 months before the event. I think maybe we need to, I don't know if we need to mail it much earlier, or I was even thinking about a postcard or something earlier saying, hey, be watching for. We did mail out 206 this year, but we hand delivered a lot of them. Like other events, we make the list to keep track of who we sent to. And a lot of them will say, well, what did I give the year before? So we can normally go back and tell them that. Some corporations and businesses only consider requests online, which I found out big time with Mercy Hospital in our area. We didn't ask them near early enough, but I have to tell you that, like, right after our event, I got an email from them asking me more questions about how much money we had raised this year, what our expenses were. So I'm still holding out for that donation. But it was quite a lengthy form. And actually, Amanda Messer, my staff partner, told me that next year they would help with filling out that request form. And I'm very thankful. that form about put me under. But anyway, I got it done. Okay, we'll move on. We did do a lot of face-to-face visits. I probably did more of them not that I'm any better than anyone else. I happen to be retired. And so, everybody's like, oh, well, Donna can do that. And yes, a lot of them I did. I do know a lot of business people. I've lived here, well, for quite some time. I've done relay for 26 years. I'm also a cancer survivor. And so I just know a lot of people. And then my coworker is Dana Eads, who works in an insurance company here. Dana's worked at the courthouse, lots of places. She knows a lot of people. And our accounting chair works at a bank. And so between the three of us, even though we're not the corporate chairperson for sponsorship, we do know a lot of people. But like I said, I learned big this year about finding out who's got that online process. And we do always look for new businesses. We did kind of have a little slip up this year of a new business that our corporate sponsorship thought, oh, well, that's a new business. I'm going to send them a letter. Dispensary. So I was a little embarrassed to have to call my staff partner and go, oh, please help me. But anyway, we got through that, and I called them. I would have gone in to visit with them, but she seemed fine with the phone conversation. And I explained to her our policies and stuff. But I did say to her, under Amanda's suggestion, I said, if someone from your business would like to make us a personal donation, John Smith can sure give me a check off of his personal account, but he didn't do it. So anyway, lesson learned. I mean, a few years ago, well, even the last time we did relay, we had none of those in our nice little town, and now everybody does. So anyway, this is one of our businesses downtown on the square where we had our event, Paint the Town Purple. And we have a lot of businesses do great decorations in their windows. And a lot of them, I have a large number of Relay for Life t-shirts. And so I donated them to the businesses, and a lot of mannequins had my t-shirts on. So, okay. Right there we go. Relay 2013. And I was proud of that. We did have 3 in-kind sponsorships this year, which I really appreciated. And one of them paid for our DJ that we had. We went along for several months thinking we had a person that was going to be the DJ. We were told that, and he was donating his time a month before the event. And you know how tragic that is. He couldn't do it. So we actually, Susan, who does our corporate sponsorship, works she's a secretary at a grade school in Joplin, and she works with a guy that's a DJ. So he did give us a nice reduced cost, but that wasn't in my budget. So tapped on that in kind with a business here in Neosho, that the owner of it, I graduated from high school with him, and it just really worked out. He paid for the DJ for us, and I did appreciate that. So, okay, we can move to another slide. Follow up, and we've got businesses that just need extra. Susan mails out the letters. However, with her job, she doesn't have much time for personal visits. So Dana and I made a lot of personal businesses, and when you know the person, yes, it's much easier. But then when we have some new businesses, I mean, I went in and visited with them, and that really does make a difference. I mean, I hear that on all of our calls. You've got to have that personal relationship with them. So next year I have some more plans on how we can stay better in tune with our businesses. And probably like every event, I really need some more people, to divide it up. But and maybe we're going to find those people. I'm hoping to get out there that help me visit, or at our meetings, I'll name off a business and I'll say, you know what, I really don't know anybody here. Surely in this group of 14 people, somebody's got to know somebody that knows somebody. And this year, I don't know if I have this on a slide. What's on my next slide? Let me see here. Well, that was our raising. We went to the farmers market for 6 weeks. Dana and I and a few other people, but they let us set up a tent topper there at no charge. And we shared relay information. We sold some luminarias there. And we got just some donations of people that, they wanted to donate. Met some people that came by and said, well, hey, I'm a survivor. Usually they were a new survivor. So we were able to share that information with them. We sure didn't get it with all of our sponsors. We tried to do pictures, and we're going to do more next year. They liked having their pictures out there on Facebook, and we got some of the nicest, comments. Obviously, that's myself, and that's Dana Eads, and then that's Rachel Dobbs from Edward Jones. Rachel also she is something in our chamber here. I don't know exactly what her role is, but she's kind of a mover and a shaker for a lot of things. And we met with her 2 or 3 times, Dana and I did, and she gave us some suggestions. And I know that she was helpful for us this year. I went back and got some previous information for as far back as I could track it. As you see, back in 2019, that was the last really big in-person we had. 2020 was a drive-by event. But look at that corporate sponsorship, $19,250, and we raised $38,000 that year. So this year we had 14,000, and we raised 41,129 for our event. So I know we can, tweak that number a little more next year. Okay, what's next? Oh, I think I'm done.
I think you're done.
I'm done.
You did a great job. You did it for being worried about it. You did a great job, and I got some really good ideas. So thank you for sharing. And I love that we can all share these ideas, and everybody can pick and choose what works for them. And it's just really nice that we all get together and share what we're doing. So thank you.
Thank you.
Next, we have a success story from Murray County, Georgia. Yvonne Reed cannot be on the call, but we have her story. So she recorded it, and we're going to watch it. She had to make up for losing a big event sponsor.
I'm Yvonne Reed, and I've been the event lead for Murray County, Georgia since 2017. And I wanted to take just a few minutes and talk to you about sponsorship strategies. This year we lost a $10,000 sponsor, which was in our goal numbers when we set them. And as this happened to be my employer, I made it a personal mission to find new sponsors to make up for the loss. I have listed some strategies that they'll be showing that it helped me work it. And that's the key to it, is you've got to work it. I'll go through a few, but I'm glad to say with hard work and creative thinking, we've had, and good luck, we've had some good luck with some of our older sponsors giving more this year. And we've made up for the deficit, so that's good news. Companies in our area seem to be rebounding in sponsorship money since COVID, basically. So it seems to be looking up for that. I want to take a second and just say how I got started. working on sponsorships. My mother was a director of purchasing for a Fortune 500 company. And when she retired, she helped us out on contacting businesses. She's since stepped back, but she's passed on her knowledge to me. A retired person is a great resource. If you can get a retired person and a double whammy that has been in business, they make a great person to reach out to companies, vendors, golf buddies, community leaders. They basically have a good round knowledge of who to contact. Retired teachers are great. They love to talk. I don't like to talk, but they seem to really have the knack for reaching out to people. The key area is learn your community and your community leaders, your chambers of commerce, your club officials, your elected officials, community leaders in general. I go back a lot of times and think back for my old high school mates. I think, what are they doing now? What businesses do they work at for? Do they own a business? I reach out to them a lot. And a key area for me is using social media to hunt businesses. You know, you can Google, get a lot of information on their websites. Like I said before, reach out to your chambers. They have a whole list of businesses that you can reach out to. Facebook and Instagram, gosh, you will see so many people that are fighting cancer or have fought cancer. Private message them. You know, you can reach out for a multitude of things by doing that. LinkedIn, this year, LinkedIn has been invaluable to me because on it, you know, it's strictly business and you get to know what levels of people work there and get ideas of who to contact. And I have just rode around town as I'm riding, keep a pad in my car and write down businesses as I see them on the side of the road and try to see if I can find a contact to call. Like I said before, you've got to reach out and you've got to work it. Be persistent, make it personal, and be nice. And most times they will, people will respond positively for that. If you can get your teams to do it as a competition, that's great. Or have schools do it as a competition. And see how many sponsors they can reach out to. Set goals. And every year, at least try for 5 or 10 new sponsors. You know, they don't have to be big ones, but just try to reach new people. And another key area that I wanted to mention was keep good records. Please don't lose your list of past sponsors to reach out to. List contacts, phone numbers, emails, whatever it takes. And also, remember that sponsors do not have to be just money. You can get free advertising on newspapers and radios, venues to have events to raise money is great to have. If somebody will donate you a venue to do something in, that's awesome. Items donated, t-shirts, pictures, items for raffles, anything's great like that. Food donations. We have events all the time that we need breakfast provided for us or lunch. Those are great. You can get free printing. If you can get free banners made, that's a cost off of you. Another area that I use a lot is my local banks and libraries. If they have the electronic signs, you won't have to pay for one of those if you'll just reach out to the person there and say, hey, we're having a Relay for Life. Could you advertise for us the week before Relay? Or a couple of weeks before Relay. Have them do that. Our courthouse, we get them to do this once a year. It's great. It's great PR. Is they light the courthouse up in purple and do purple ribbons on it for the week before Relay. So there's a multitude of ways to get people involved and reach out to sponsors. I won't go through all of them, but like I say, you can look at the list. But mainly, like I say, work it and set goals and reach out for new people, and that's how we overcame our $10,000 loss. Thanks.
She is persistent. I think I would have freaked out if I lost a $10,000 sponsor, especially if it was my employer. We're going to wrap it up with Lisa Adair, who I love this event. I would love to go see this event because I think it's something that could work in a lot of our communities. She's going to talk about an event that's not a relay because that won't work in her community. But they still do sponsorship for their event called Tackle Cancer. So Lisa Adair from Chillicothe, Illinois. Let's hear from you.
You almost had it, Heidi. Chillicothe.
I know. I've
Illinois.
been
You were
practicing.
so close.
Sorry.
Yes. All right. Well, I'm wrapping it up. Yeah. So I know it's late and I know we've been on the call a long time, but I'm not only a proud staff person for the Unified Event Support Team, that is obviously something I'm really proud of, but I have to say I'm very, very proud to be a co-lead of our Tackle Cancer event that has now been going strong. I was trying to remember back and look back, maybe 5 years. You know, we had obviously all had to take a hiatus there, but we came back better than ever this year. And so really quick, I just want to touch on how we do a little bit of how we do sponsorship and really about recognition of our sponsors. So everyone else was sharing about a little bit about their town. This town is 6,000 people in the middle of Illinois. We're kind of right in the central part of Illinois. We did have a relay here for 16 years. 16, I started it, maybe 14, somewhere in that range. We started in 2002. And, you know, it did go strong for quite a few years. And then like all good things, you know, things happen and things change. But I couldn't let ACS leave our community. We all know it's too important to us. The mission is too important to us, getting the message out, the 1-800 number, all the things about what ACS does, I needed our community to know about. So my cousin Stephanie and I decided let's do something and let's utilize the high school. And I don't know where you live, but where we live, Friday night lights, Friday night football, like that's the thing that people do. I also must mention this is the town I was born and raised in. This picture you see up here, that is my mother who graduated from this high school. That is my daughter in the middle who graduated from this high school. And that is me who graduated from this high school. We know this community. We are a part of this community. We live in this community. And so who better to go out and ask for sponsors than myself, my cousin Stephanie, who is a year older than me, graduated from this high school and has lived in this town our whole life. So we, in a nutshell, have a great event that overlays a football game, essentially. There's already a football game going on, so then we just tag on to the football game. We have 50-50 and we do food vendors and we make it a really, really cool night. You know, we did t-shirts and so it was really awesome. Sponsors though, this tiny town of 6,000 people, but generous people and people that we do business with both personally and professionally, right? So we ask for sponsors. We visit these restaurants. We visit these businesses, you know, that the country financial agent is who my mom works for. So, I mean, those are the type of relationships that this is all about. It's all about, and it's not being afraid to just ask. And I think it was mentioned before, you're going to get no's and we get no's. And yes, do I hold a little bit like, oh, they said no to us? Well, I'm not going back. I mean, I'm sorry. Like, we're a part of your community. We come into your businesses. We also offer all sorts of ways to be a sponsor. So I love hearing what people are doing, mentioning, you know, doing different types of sponsorship levels. I mean, if you can give us $25, we're going to put a poster in your window that says proud sponsor of Tackle Cancer. If you can give us $100, you're going to get on one of our signs. If you can give us, you know, whatever. We came up with a new thing this year called our football sponsor. And that's what our presenting sponsor, IMSD, we came up with this idea of tossing footballs into the stands. And those footballs had the IMSD logo. So they sponsored the little footballs, and we're talking like little brown Nerf footballs. And during halftime, right after all the halftime festivities, we threw 50 footballs into the stands. And if your number on your football matched the numbers we drew, you got a gift card to one of our sponsors. So then that's bringing more businesses into the sponsors. So the restaurants that sponsored us, people won gift cards to. And again, it's finding ways to make businesses get value from being part of our event. We did a lot of Facebook recognition. We put their logo out there. This is a great Facebook Jessica Poff made for me to help me get out on our Facebook page. The banner, I'm super proud of the banner, donated completely free from one of our designers. That's one of our presenting sponsors, Owens Design Group. They designed the logo for us, and then they make these banners for us. It recognizes all of our sponsors, recognizes the high school, which is important, of course, because they let us use the facility. And right there, it's benefiting the American Cancer Society. So it's right there boldly saying, like, this is who we're raising money for. And then I think that putting it on Facebook, tagging people who are helping us. I did a tag once the t-shirts came in and I said, thank you to our friends at Owen Design Group. Thank you to who printed them. You got to just thank, and really recognize our sponsors. And at the end of the day, this event happened 2 weeks ago. I already have mailed out a really cute, I've done this for a few years. Go to Walgreens. You get, if you make Christmas cards at Walgreens, you're familiar doing picture cards. Grab 2 or 3 great pictures from your event and just say thank you. And I did that this week. Got those printed. I mean, they cost Walgreens always has a 40% coupon. You get a coupon, you get them printed, and with just a simple message. Thank you for supporting Tackle Cancer. Because of you, we were able to donate $23,000 to the American Cancer Society. We mailed that to all of our sponsors, the high school, the Booster Club. I mailed it to individual donors who donated to my daughter. Lindsay did a Facebook fundraiser, and she raised $400. I mailed it to those donors. We mailed it to in-kind, to the vendors, to all the people. Anyone that came in contact with us that helped in one way, shape, or form to tackle cancer, they got a thank you, and they got it within 10 days of the event. I think recognition is important, but like timely recognition, saying like, this event happened, you sponsored it, we thank you, and we're going to come back to you next year. So I could talk about Tackle Cancer like I can talk about UES until someone tells me to zip it, because I'm really proud of all of you and everything that we're doing for our communities. Without volunteers like you and staff like you, ACS would not be alive and well in so many communities across the country. So the idea tonight was really just to say, you know your community better than I know your community. You know your community better than anybody. Make your sponsorship work. Make it a one-pager. We heard that. Offer different levels. Change it up. Ask a sponsor, what would you like to do for the event? Maybe they're going to say something like, we'd like to donate 100 flags with our logo on them that the survivors could carry during the lap. They might say, we want to sponsor a food vendor who comes and does ice cream for the kids rally. You never know what they're going to say until you ask. So don't be afraid to ask. Don't be afraid to say, this is important. This is important. The work we're doing is important. We want you to be part of it. And then I cannot say enough. A thank you goes a long way. A verbal thank you, a shout out on Facebook, a written card, a picture card, all of that, goes a long way. So I will not belabor it, because again, I could talk about it all night, how proud I am of all of you and this team, how proud I am to have a co-chair like my cousin Stephanie, who is an amazing person and helps us pull off a fantastic event every year. So I did see one question about what is our mascot? Let me answer that before we hang up. This is home of the gray ghosts, like a ghost, like a ghost. I don't know where that came from, but we are the gray ghosts, and that's what the little guy is on the footballs.
And there was another question about the numbers on the footballs.
Yeah, we just drew them with a marker. We took the footballs, they're little Nerf guys. We drew a number. We wrote 1 through 50. We threw them in the stands. And then we said, we drew, did like that, like Google, if you Google, like pick a number, like there's an app and it just says you need to pick 7 numbers between 1 and 50. And then we announced those numbers and we said, if you caught a football, come visit us at the Tackle Cancer tent to find out if you've won. They came down. If they didn't win, they got to keep the football.
All right. Thank you,
Yeah.
Lisa.
Sure.
All right. Well, we want to thank everybody who came. We know this was a little bit longer call, and I know it's dark here in Michigan, so I'm like, it's got to be bedtime. We want to thank everyone who shared or who shared in the chat and asked questions. We hope everybody took away something. I know I was taking notes, so you can take it back to your community and help with your sponsorship campaigns this coming year. This recording, the chat transcript, and any other resources we brought up tonight will be posted on the Let's Talk page on acsresources.org. Bookmark that site. It's an amazing site. It will be there next week. And don't forget to mark your calendars for next month's Let's Talk call. We're going to be focusing on making the ask to potential committee members, team captains, and volunteers. And what will be the date of the call? I know. I'm like,
It's the third Thursday as always. So in October, that will be the 19th.
All right. Thank you. And thank you to everyone. I hope everybody has some great ideas, and everybody have a great night.
Thanks,
everybody.